Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Europa Universalis IV, where we are playing as Mali. And Sindrin, ever wonder what life was like in the Mongol Empire? Well, it had its pros and cons. I think that probably sounds better with an American accent, because the Americans pronounce cons like cons, I believe. But no, I'm not going to do a faux American accent just for that. Sorry. Or maybe it just makes more sense with a Brit saying it, because they have to emphasize the cons. Anyway, we are currently playing as Mali. We are at war with Portugal. We did bring in Morocco, which was our ally in the region. Huzzah! We're going to have to make sure that Morocco gives, or Portugal gives these territories back to Morocco when we are done here. We are currently losing just because of the balance of battles. We have been suffering particularly badly against Sardinia-Piedmont. But right at the end of the previous session, Sardinia-Piedmont peaced out. And we have now sent a new force over to Mazil, which is probably also a large source of the war score negative. Oh, and also they control Arguin. That's the other thing that we're going to need to do, is make sure that we seize control of Arguin, which might actually be the next objective. So let's get our transports heading back home. And we'll send our regular ships back home as well, so that they can go and heal up in Gabu. And then let's go and grab one of these stacks and just have you waiting over here, ready to be shipped. Oh, and this 4K also needs to head over so that we have the full force. Yeah, because against their colonial armies, we're okay. So let's make sure that we take some of this back. And then we'll have to fight a rearguard action in the south. Great expectations, a political marriage as such as a union of contract and mutual support. The Kaiser family expects the great Musa to heed the advice of the Empress and actively look after their and his interests. The officers from the Kaiser family will be favoured for promotion regardless of merits. Lose 20 navy tradition. Or lose autonomy and prestige. We just got a really good admiral, so I think we're going to be okay for a while. So let's lose the navy tradition. No, because that's going to lose us morale as well. I almost never support the family, but we're going to support the family in this instance. And see if that does us any good. Military-wise, we are waiting for Miltech 23, which will actually put us ahead of Portugal. They're still on 22 at the moment. Why did Piedmont peace out? Did they get into a separate war? No, we just did enough damage that they didn't want to fight us anymore. That is another lightship fleet coming back south for reasons. Morocco has died. Royal marriage of Morocco has ended. Well, we should probably make sure that that gets restored, because I quite like having Morocco as the buffer here in the north. They did do a fair amount of damage and attrition, even if militarily they weren't up to it. Because we can see war enemies. Portugal's manpower is down to 16,000, and they've been tapping their professionalism pretty hard. It's down to 48. We've had to tap it twice. I think it was 70 when we started. But they've done it more. And we still have just more available. Okay, it looks like their armies are on the way south now, so let's start merging you guys together again. Now, is one of these any better than the other? Yes, we kind of want to fight them in Kubatha, but that pretty much guarantees that that's not where they're going to be. So let's have you heading north. You're going to come around the back. Interest. You're probably going to go for Santa Catarina. Meanwhile, Mazil's fleet is here. Mazil's fleet should be able to handle themselves okay. And you jump on the ships. We're going to send you over here as well, so we can get those extra reinforcements in. Let's do this. Let's meet in Santa Catarina. So you're going to Kiribati, but I want to fight them in Castro. Because Castro is Savannah, so we can attack into it quite safely. Voodoo, your maneuver is 1, your maneuver is 2, so we will take the river crossing there. But Voodoo is our best commander, so I'll take the -1. So long as I'm not having to fight them in Kiribati, it's fine. And you land here instead. Are they actually going to get away from me? Leave on the 9th, arrive on the 15th. Oh, man. Really? Alright, stay here. Go there, then go there. So it looks like we're going to be taking a -1 pretty much regardless of what happens. Oh, except now they come into Santa Catarina. The worldly ulema. Not all members of the ulema are great theologians or intellectuals. Corruption can grow in any corner of the state, and for some it can be hard to tell apart what benefits the faith might be and what benefits there are to themselves. We are going to debase the currency once, and then we're going to say that only traitors need fear corruption. And that's going to shore up our finances quite nicely for the foreseeable future. The Marshal, thank you very much for the 35-month resubscription. Very much appreciate that. Warning, we detected you did not give your monthly tithe to the Viking horde. If you wish to avoid angry raiders off your coast, please click the button. And you click the button, so all is good now. Now you're just going to have some friendly settlers moving in. Please tell me it's named Brazil because it's Mali in Brazil. Of course. They do have another 22k coming in. We're on a -1. They actually have more morale than we do, and more discipline than we do. However, it's just too late, but maybe we get the tactics? And we're going to need to remember to change our unit types right after this. Namtakor, thank you very much for the 10-month resubscription. Very much appreciate the ongoing support there as well. And Mastani coming in with a raid. Hello, Mastani. Hope you're doing well. New trade good. Change to tropical wood. This is not going as well as I'd hoped, although we are doing a lot of damage to them. Mostly because of our artillery backline. Oh my gosh, this is going to be close, but I think we will lose. Yeah, we're losing. Alright, let's have you... we just missed the end of the month as well. Head down to there. Let's drop you in there as well, so I can evacuate if we have to. Kind of hoping that they stay and try to siege this stuff down, because I'm pretty confident that if we go for a round 2, we'd win. Are you chasing me? Oh no, I think they are. Yeah, they totally are. Got away. Unfortunately, those guys will lose. And there was the end of the month tick. Did you guys get morale for that? You did, but not a lot. Alright, we're going to head to the north, and we're going to do another naval invasion from there. This is not going to plan. At all. And the regular Portuguese army is back, so we will need to start worrying about that too. Brilliant. Nobles demand old rights. You can have the government reform progress. Although what I think I'm going to do first is we're going to convert all of the government reform that we have now, because we're not going to need it, into admin. Then we're going to accept those demands. So our nation can now get up to 1,700, which should definitely be able to get us a lot more of this region. Ooh, upgraded frigates. Yes, please. I use those quite heavily. And we can now change our unit type. So, the options: North African guerrillas, East African guerrillas, and Central African guerrillas. We are still having major morale problems, which basically locks us to either the East or the North African ones. The Central African do more morale damage, and they have more shock resistance, and do more fire damage, but have less fire resistance. So they're good against other African nations. We are against fire nations. We have a decent amount of manpower, so I'm thinking East African guerrillas. We do more damage, we have the fire resistance to deal with the Europeans, and they don't tend to use a lot of shock unless they're cavalry. So if we're fighting like Poland, then yeah, we'd do that, but we're not. Smaller groups of Eastern African hill warriors employing guerrilla tactics to harass the enemy. North African mountain warriors employing guerrilla tactics. Or Central African forest warriors. Now we're going to go with the hills. East African. And we can also change our cavalry type to the African Dragoon, which will increase the fire damage done. It decreases the shock damage done, but it massively increases their morale, resistance, and damage done. Horsemen armed with muskets who dismount in battle and fighters infantry. See, that I approve of. Using horses to be more mobile and then fighting on foot, that's fine. That's the kind of cavalry I can get behind. Because they're not really cavalry. Oh, hey! Ugh. Never gets old. Never gets old. And we're going to start moving you guys forwards a little. Nationalism CB against Mazil. Imperialism against everyone. And you guys just embark there. The less time I have you at sea, the better. And we can also go up in admin tech, please do. Alright, so we are now ahead of time in everything except for admin, which also means that we get the extra 20% trade income, so our finances are now far more secure than they were before. We can also get another idea slot, which we were talking quite seriously about having as maritime, although considering the morale issues we've been having, maybe we do want defensive, because we do rely on the forts here in the north pretty heavily. Or innovative. Innovative does have some really nice buffs. Offensive and innovative is siege ability and leader siege. Quantity is garrison size and fort maintenance. Trade is trade efficiency and interest. Maritime would be galley cost, galley combat ability. Okay, that's useless. National sailor modifier and marine force limit with economic. Naval force limits with expansion. Naval leader maneuver and durability with offensive. That also sounds pretty good, actually. Or if we go defensive, we can get unrest and stability. We can get merchants and trade steering with trade, or regiment cost and recover army morale. That doesn't have any good buffs. Economic is more discipline. That's never one to sniff at. And then trade efficiency with trade ideas. So quality has the better policies. Defensive gives us the morale in the fort defense. And maritime has excellent... Well, it has... No, it doesn't have excellent ones. It has decent policies, and then innovative. Efficiency, siege, fort maintenance, and garrison. Honestly, of all of these, quality have the best synergy. And we are using ships more often, so that morale of navies and just the better army tradition... Oh my gosh, army tradition. The downside to going quality is we are still trying to complete offensive. So we currently don't have a defensive... Oh, sorry, a diplomatic policy. But the diplomatic points we can be putting into development. Because we still have quite a few gold mines, which I would very much like to have embiggened. And that takes production. 1 point of production to half of either of the others, basically. Are you streaming just through Twitch or using a program? You can't stream just through Twitch. You have to use a program which connects to Twitch. And I'm using OBS. Alright, let's go and take a look at... Where's the poll? There's the poll. New poll. So the options were innovative, maritime, defensive, and quality. I'm going to make this a 2-minute vote. So get your votes in. Do you think we should go innovative, maritime, defensive, quality? Again, quality gives us a balance of naval and military, gives us army tradition, which is good, and has the best synergy with our current ideas. Defensive gives us more morale, which has been by far and away our biggest problem, like throughout the entire game. And it also improves our forts, and we use the forts pretty heavily, as you can see here, defending in the north. Maritime will increase the number of ships we can get, makes them cheaper, gets them better at blockading, gives us some trade abilities, and has moderate idea synergy. And then there's innovative, which gives us better technology, although we now have caught up on tech, but this can keep us ahead. It'll give us some innovativeness, which we have 0 of right now, although 1690 might be a bit late to start on that. It gives us better leaders and also cheaper advisors, which means that our economy will be stronger and has moderate synergy. So here you go. Get your votes in. Vote, vote, vote. Which do you think we should go for? Have I taken the war goal? No, not yet. So the questions, which EU4 is best to start learning the game from? Sorry, which EU game is the best to start learning from? 4. Which country is the best to play as a complete newbie in EU? I would say Castile, although I'm starting to lean towards England. If you head over to my YouTube, which you can find at youtube.com/Mordred Viking, there is a beginner-friendly series up there, playing as Castile, which basically runs you through how to play. Like, it's still a let's play, but I take everything very slowly and explain precisely what I'm doing. So I would strongly recommend you check that out. There is also a beginner... that's for Hearts of Iron, Silver Knight. There is also a tutorial, getting started tutorial up on my YouTube. I do too many beginner-friendly series. But thank you. But the YouTube is definitely the place to start with the Castile playthrough. Defensive also lowers land attrition, which can be very useful moving stacks around. That's true. That's very true. Wow, defensive getting a lot of love. Blimey. Had a command for that series. I don't think we did. I stand being wrong, but I don't think we did in that instance. What would this be? This would be the Nightbot commands. Let's take a look. Beginner EU4. That's the one. Beginner EU4. So yes, you're right. We did have a command for that. Just not the Castile, specifically. Okay, so the votes are in, and Maritime came in last place with just 1% of the vote. Then Innovative in third place with 4%, Quality in second place with 27%, and then Defensive took a whopping 68%. So we are 100% going defensive right now. So defensive and offensive. It's like having quantity and quality at the same time. The miracle of life, lose 2 war exhaustion. Right, the other thing that is happening is we are having court and country. Blessed be Muhammad I, Pogwabka, and their new babe. I'm wondering if for court and country we want to have our maximum absolutism increased if we get rid of temporarily controlled gold mining. I don't know exactly how this works, because I don't usually go absolutism, because I'm normally a republic. EU for court and country. So you can say, I am the state to try to negotiate. I'm the state you gain absolutism. We get hardline centralization attempts. You then get the monthly ticks. Ending the revolt. End of hostilities between court and country. If you have at least 65, the state is triumphant. You gain 20. If you have between 30 but less than 65, or between 30 and 65, perhaps can work together, you gain 10. Or if you have less than 30, the court is devastated. So we need to get 65 to get the maximum. Which is 7 higher than what we have now. Right, if we get rid of these, that would help. So that gets us up to 68. There we go, that's what we need. So then we'll have 88. Well, 78, eventually, maximum. Cool. And our absolutism right now is giving us 2.9 discipline, 17.6 admin efficiency, and 29 reduction to foreign core duration. And we gain 2.5 a year. Can you see the current leader stats? There you go, 144. With the air being a 404. I think I might get rid of you, because we know that there is another kid there waiting in the wings. Oh, maybe we'll do it after the war. I don't want to lose prestige right now. Right. You are still sieging, and I'm kind of okay with just letting you tick away at that. You're sieging this. And you got it back. Let's get Pambuco back as well. Although that's 23,000 men marching north. We have 31. Zamfara. What is Zamfara? Zamfara is a grain producer, therefore definitely the bigger army with the extra manpower. I do feel like we want to increase the development of these guys a little bit so we can maintain bigger armies here. In the back line. But then again, I also want to get my development up. I heard that American native developments got pulled back. How crazy are the dev levels going now? Sardinia Piedmont's having court and country, and Pernambuco has been retaken. So, first of all, I don't think that native devs were ever too high, because again, the development being abnormally high in their capital was as a indicator of the development of their entire nation, because they didn't actually collect any development from the tribal territories. As soon as they settled, that got spread out, and they functioned like a normal state. Secondly, they were settling too quickly, and this is the true issue. Which basically meant that they became a Western power, or westernized, far too quickly, which they no longer do. So we can see over here in North America in 1691 that there are a couple of big natives, but that's mostly because the colonizing powers have been terrible. The only colonizing power that really still exists is Portugal, and Portugal's been through the wars because of me. The Dutch have just arrived, and they are probably going to be the new major colonial power. But like Creek are settled, Huron are settled, Mexico hasn't changed in mechanics-wise, and Carib is settled. Then we've still got a couple of the Plains natives like Blackfoot, Oneida, Assiniboine, Peoria, etc., who are still tribals. And their development right now as a tribal, again, with this being centralized, like this province is actually a 2-1-1. You will note that the from tribal development, that's the temporary development because they're not gaining anything else from the other territories which they have claimed as a territory. And this is a mechanic to allow the Europeans to colonize the native territories while the natives still exist.